Here we go. More truths about stuttering liar and his scumbag father. Let's listen. Documented.
He starts with his $100,000 severance package from Jay Leno. And again, he details this in his filing from the court that he received $100,000 severance from Jay Leno.
Okay.
However, less than a year later, Susanna is in court suing him for back child support, and he says that he spent the $100,000.
Wow.
So without spending a dime of it to pay the $27,000 that he owes in child support, he just blows through that $100,000 on God knows what.
Wow.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of beer.
That's a lot of beer.
I don't even think he could drink that much.
And it goes back to what I said on yesterday's show when we closed it out. You're a shit father. You're a shit human being. You left your wife and kids hanging, and you blew that fucking money like the garbage person that you are. Shame on you. Shame on you.
How fast did he do it? A year?
A year.
A year, Bob. In under a year. In under a year. And at the same time, wasn't he doing stand-up still as well? Like, not a ton, but I mean...
But the gig got canceled.
Oh, that's
right.
So that's interesting that you bring that up, because he... So, hold on. So let me back up. So the $100,000 that he blew...
Only if you're at a cliff.
Go ahead.
He has to list his income, and he lists his income as... His employer is Uber, and his income as $12 an hour.
Okay.
But in Susanna's response to that, she claims that during the years that they were married, he received checks from the Writers Guild and from residuals from like TV and movies and stuff, and had stand-up gigs. None of that income was listed on his filing, so he must not have been doing any stand-up gigs. And what's even more interesting about that is he claims in his response that he's reached out to, quote, every one of his contacts in Hollywood for work. So a guy who's a professional stand-up comedian, a draw, a guy that can sell out the Improv, can't get a stand-up gig. And this was well before everyone was canceling his gigs. This is 2015. This is before Carl was even doing Who Are These Podcasts, I think.
Or definitely not doing stuff on John. That's
right.
Well, maybe he knew that Carl was going to do something on it.
You're saying he had a premonition?
Yeah, I mean, it could happen.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you? That all the contacts he had made throughout the Tonight Show years, nobody wanted to hire him for anything.
Burned every bridge, Mike. Burned every bridge.
Or is he too lazy to even do what he said he did?
That's option number 2. Both are very, very doable in his world. Highlights that stuck out for me. Circling back to the type of father that John is, in one of the documents, his ex-wife put in the document that John at one point left their 9-year-old alone. Now, I don't know if that's at home or where, but the 9-year-old, he was not there supervising the 9-year-old.
And then he sued
He was right in the bar. You know?
Oh, you think he was just... Oh, okay. Just, hey, I rolled the windows down. I cracked them.
He sued Chris Columbus for coming up with the idea for Home Alone based on it.
Take a sip. Take a sip after that.
She also says, Julie, in that document, she uses...
Such an idiot. Yeah, go ahead.
She uses the phrase, John is a drinker, and implies that she doesn't want the children in the car with him.
Wow.
And that he also does the marijuana, she mentioned.
Really? What'd she say about that?
That he was a, quote, habitual marijuana user.
Wow.
But also, look, not to take just looking as an attorney as I am.
Go ahead.
Is this not things that women would say to be able to get custody of kids and to get more money?
Well, it's interesting you would ask that, Bob, because this whole situation of this back and forth appears to be, so the original custody split was 80-20 her way. He took her to court to get it changed to 50-50 custody, so therefore his share of the child support would go down.
It would be a lower number for people.
This shows the true nature of stuttering moron. This guy is a major piece of shit. And it's all this about my kids. You don't give a shit about your kids. You're a piece of shit. Everybody should know the truth about you.
That don't know the law.
Right. So he's constantly trying to lower the rate of child support, meanwhile not paying the rate that he's supposed to pay.
She uses the phrase, "I'm terrified he will try to lower it even more." She was terrified.
Oh,
she was working 3 jobs.
Working 3 jobs to support his kids, and this fucking guy blows through $100,000 in less than a year.
I've never even had a half a job.
Yeah, it's insanity what a piece of shit this guy is.
Wow.
And if you really take this all in, it makes the wedding speeches so much more understandable from the
and I did happen to see on a personal note while I was looking at some of those documents that he said he could write from home. He's a professional writer. He could write from home, which wasn't that he was saying I was not because I wrote
correct
from home?
because you wrote from home. Well, he also said I'm a terrible dad because I smoke pot and I have kids.
Right.
So there's a couple of hypocrisy. Wait, there's more. What else?
I'm still confused what's going on, but wow.
Well, this. So what we're hearing is all the details in a battle between John and his ex, where John and his lawyer are trying to get his payments lowered even more. And his wife is saying, I'm doing 3 jobs. I'm paying for shit that he's supposed to. And so they're going to court over it.
So it's really heartbreaking. You read the whole thing where she says she's working all these jobs. She says, I can't work any more than I am, and I need money, and he's not giving it to us.
If you look at a day, there is an opportunity for a 4th job.
Why don't you get one?